Stop the video. Stop scrolling. Look at me. I'm about to tell you something that will blow your mind and piss you off at the same time. My parents have $3.2 million. $3.2 million. But look at this photo. That's my dad. Beat up 2015 Honda Accord. Dent in the door. Rust on the bumper. That's my mom at the grocery store. Clipping coupons like it's 1992. That's their house. 1,200 square feet. 3 bedrooms. Bought it in 1998 and never moved. My friends growing up thought we were poor. They felt sorry for me. Some of their parents offered to help us. But here's what nobody knew. My parents retired at 58. They are 68 now. They've been to 35 countries. They don't have a mortgage. They don't have debt. They don't have stress. They have $3 million and they live like they are broke. Now look at this house. 5,000 square feet. Pool. 3-car garage. BMW in the driveway. My neighbors. Everyone thought they were rich. Everyone wanted to be them. 3 months ago, they lost everything. Sold the house. Sold the cars. Starting over at 60 years old. Same neighborhood. 15 years. My parents won. My neighbors lost. And what I'm about to tell you is a story of how that happened, and why everything you think you know about wealth is completely backwards. If you've ever looked at someone with a nice car and big house and thought they must be rich while looking at someone with an old car and small house and thought they must be struggling, don't go anywhere, because this story is going to flip everything upside down. And before I tell you this story, I'm Mike. I make videos showing you how money actually works in real life, not the fake Instagram BS. Quick disclaimer. Not a financial advisor, not financial advice. This is a true story about my family. Now let me take you back to the day everything I thought I knew about money was shattered. I'm 15 years old. It's 2005. Summer. I'm outside shooting hoops in our driveway. Suddenly, this massive moving truck pulls up across the street. And I mean massive. Like the biggest moving truck I've ever seen. Behind it, a brand new BMW 7 Series. Shiny. Black. Beautiful. I stop playing and just watch. The BMW door opens. Out steps this guy in a suit. Expensive watch. Confident. That's Mr. Johnson. Then a Mercedes SUV pulls up. Brand new. Silver. Mrs. Johnson. She's dressed like she just came from a business meeting. Designer bag. Sunglasses that probably cost more than my entire wardrobe. I'm watching this like it's a movie. Then the movers start unloading. Brand new furniture. Still in plastic. Expensive everything. Leather couches. Huge TVs. Art. I run inside and tell my dad, "Dad, you got to see the new neighbors. They are rich." My dad comes out, looks, smiles, and goes back inside. That's it. Just a smile. Over the next 6 months, I watched the Johnsons turn their house into a palace. Pool installed. Professional landscaping. 3 cars in the driveway. They threw parties every weekend. Everyone in the neighborhood wanted to be friends with them. They looked successful. They looked like they figured life out. They looked like everything my family wasn't. And I remember feeling embarrassed. Because while they had all that, we had nothing. We had my dad's dented Honda from 1998. We had our tiny house with a small yard. We had nothing impressive. Nothing to show off. Nothing that made people think we were successful. One night at dinner, I asked my dad, "Why don't we have nice stuff like the Johnsons? Mr. Johnson has a BMW. You drive a Honda that's older than me. Their house has a pool. We don't even have a nice deck. Are we poor?" My dad put down his fork, looked at me, and said something I will never forget. He said, "Michael, the Johnsons are broke. They just don't know it yet. I want you to watch what happens over the next 10 years. Watch closely, because this is the most important financial lesson you will ever learn." I thought he was crazy. How could someone with a BMW, a mansion, and a pool be broke? They had everything. But my dad wasn't crazy. He was right. And it took 15 years for me to understand just how right he was. Now pause the video. Hit that like button. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to make you question every financial decision you've ever made. And make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because I'm breaking down every lesson my millionaire parents taught me in future videos, and you don't want to miss a single one. Let me tell you what it was like growing up in my house. because you need to feel what I felt to understand why this story matters. I shared a bedroom with my brother until I was 16 years old. My friends all had their own rooms. Some had 2 rooms. When friends came over, I was embarrassed. We drove old cars. My dad's Honda had 140,000 miles on it. My friend Jake's dad drove a brand new Escalade. Leather seats, DVD players. Jake would pick me up, and I'd feel poor just sitting in his car. We went to the beach for vacation, stayed in cheap motels. My friends went to Disney World, Europe, Hawaii. When I wanted new shoes, my mom took me to the discount store. I wore off-brand sneakers. My friends wore Jordans, Nikes, expensive brands. I was embarrassed to wear my shoes to school. I remember one specific day. I'll never forget it. Jake's dad picked us up from school in his new Escalade. Jake turns to me and goes, "Dude, my dad just got this. It's sick, right?" I said, "Yeah, it's nice." Then he goes, "What does your dad drive again?" "That old Honda." I said, "Yeah." He laughed, actually laughed, and said, "Bro, that car is older than we are. When's your dad getting a new car? Is he broke or something?" I felt humiliated, completely humiliated. I went home and told my dad I'm embarrassed by our car. I said Jake's dad has an Escalade and we have a car from before I was born. My dad looked at me and said, "Michael, if Jake judges you based on what car I drive, he's not a real friend. And in 20 years, you'll understand why this car is worth more to me than his dad's Escalade." I didn't believe him. I thought he was making excuses. But once again, he was right. And 20 years later, I understand exactly what he meant. Fast forward. I'm 22. Just graduated college. I'm broke. Student loans. No job yet. Living at home. Stressed about money. My dad calls me one Saturday morning and says, "Come over. We need to talk." I think I'm in trouble. I have no idea what this is about. I drive to my parents' house. My dad is sitting at the kitchen table with his laptop open. He says, "Sit down, Michael. Your mother and I need to show you something." I sit down. He turns the laptop toward me, and I see numbers on the screen that I have never seen in my life. Retirement account, $1.2 million. Brokerage account, $890,000. Rental properties, $650,000. Other investments, $460,000. Total net worth, $3.2 million. I'm staring at the screen like it's photoshopped, like it's a joke, like it can't be real. I go, "Dad, what is this? Is this real?" He says, "Yes, Michael, this is real. Your mother and I are retiring next month. We're 58 years old. We're done working. And we wanted you to see this because we want you to understand what we've been doing your entire life." I couldn't speak. I just stared. My parents. My dad, the middle manager. My mom, the school teacher. $3 million. I finally said, "How? How is this possible? You drive a car from 1998. We lived in this tiny house my whole life. We never had anything nice. How do you have $3 million? And that's when my dad explained everything. If you're still watching right now, hit that like button again, because what my dad is about to explain changed my entire life. And I'm going to share every detail with you. My dad said, "Michael, your mother and I made about $95,000 a year combined our entire careers. I made $60,000. She made $35,000. That's not rich. That's middle class. But here's what we did. We lived on $45,000 a year, every single year, for 30 years. Everything else, every single dollar, we invested. When I got a raise, we didn't upgrade our lifestyle. We upgraded our investments. When your mom got her summers off teaching, she didn't relax. She tutored kids for extra money and invested every dollar. For 30 years, we lived like we made half of what we actually made, and we invested the difference. That difference compounded into $3 million. I sat there stunned. Everything clicked. The old car, the small house, the cheap vacations, the embarrassment. It was all intentional. They weren't poor. They weren't struggling. They were building freedom. And I had no idea. While I was embarrassed about our Honda, they were building $1 million investment portfolio. While I was wishing we had a bigger house, they were buying rental properties. While I thought we were poor, they were becoming millionaires. And nobody knew, not the neighbors, not their friends, not even me. Complete invisibility. Now let me tell you what happened to the Johnsons, because this is where the story gets insane. My dad explained their situation to me that same day. He said, "Michael, Mr. Johnson makes about $200,000 a year. Mrs. Johnson makes $150,000. Combined, $350,000 a year. That's almost 4 times what we made. But here's what you don't see. Their mortgage payment is $4,000 a month. Car payments are $1,400 a month total. Credit card debt from furniture and lifestyle, another $800 a month. Student loans from their expensive degrees, $600 a month. Private school for the kids. Country club membership. Eating out constantly. Shopping. Maintaining the image. All of it. They are spending $17,500 a month. They are saving maybe $500 a month. On a $350,000 income, they are saving $6,000 a year. Meanwhile, we made $95,000 and saved $26,400 a year. They made almost 4 times more than us. We saved more than 4 times what they saved. And over 30 years, that difference became millions of dollars. I was mind blown. The people who looked rich were broke. The people who looked broke were rich. Then my dad said something that haunts me to this day. He said, "Michael, watch what happens when life hits the Johnsons. A job loss, a recession, a medical emergency, anything. They won't survive it because they have no margin, no savings, no cushion. They're living on the edge and they don't even know it." 10 years later, I'm 32, visiting my parents. They've been retired for 4 years. They just got back from 3 months in Portugal, living their best life. Zero stress, zero worries. I'm walking to my car and I see Mr. Johnson in his driveway. He looks exhausted, beaten down, older than he should look. I walk over to say hi. We start talking, and he tells me they are selling the house, moving to a much smaller place. The BMW is gone, traded it for a used Camry. I ask what happened. He looks at me, tired, and says, "Mike, we lived beyond our means for too long. I lost my job for 8 months during COVID. We couldn't keep up with the mortgage, the car payments, all of it. We're starting over. I'm 60 years old, and I'm starting over from scratch." My heart sank. This man who had everything, who looked so successful, who looked like he had life figured out, was broke, and it finally caught up to him. Meanwhile, my parents are 68 now. They've been retired for 10 years, traveled to 35 countries, volunteer at the local food bank, spend time with their grandkids, have zero financial stress. They sleep like babies every night. They won. The Johnsons lost. Same neighborhood, same 15 years, opposite outcomes. And it all came down to one simple choice. Look rich or be rich. Impress people or build freedom. Status or security. My parents chose freedom. The Johnsons chose status. And 15 years later, the results speak for themselves. If this story is hitting you hard right now, smash that like button and drop a comment telling me which part hit you hardest. I read every single comment. And subscribe right now because I'm about to give you the 7 specific lessons my parents taught me that I use every single day to build wealth. Lesson 1. Nobody cares about your car. My dad drove that 1998 Honda Accord for 14 years, 180,000 miles. People made fun of it, asked when it's upgrading. He'd smile and say, "When it stops running." It never stopped. He finally traded it in 2012, bought another used Honda, paid cash. He told me, "Michael, a car gets you from point A to point B. That is its only job. Anyone who judges you based on the car you drive is someone whose opinion literally does not matter." The Johnsons had a new BMW every 3 years. Endless lease payments. My dad had no car payment for 30 years. He invested the difference. That difference alone became $400,000. Lesson 2. Buy a house smaller than you can afford. My parents qualified for a $400,000 house. They bought a $180,000 house in the same neighborhood. Smaller square footage. Same schools. Same area. but lower mortgage, lower taxes, lower insurance, lower everything. They told me, buy the smallest house in the best neighborhood you can find, not the biggest house you can barely afford. The Johnsons bought the biggest house they could qualify for, maxed out their budget. When Mr. Johnson lost his job, they almost lost the house. My parents kept investing through every crisis because their payment was manageable. Lesson 3. Rich people don't look rich. My parents introduced me to their financial advisor when I turned 23. His name was Robert. Robert manages over $200 million in assets for his clients. He drove a 12-year-old Camry, wore a Timex watch, lived in a small condo. I was so confused. I asked my dad, if Robert is so successful managing $200 million, why does he drive a Camry and live in a condo? My dad said, that is exactly why Robert is successful. He understands that wealth is not about looking rich. It's about being free. The moment you start trying to look rich is a moment you guarantee you'll never actually be rich. Lesson 4. Automate your investments and make them invisible. My parents set up automatic investments from every single paycheck. 401k IRA, brokerage account. The money disappeared before they could even think about spending it. My mom told me, Michael, if you can see the money, you will spend the money. Make it disappear before you can touch it. I set up the exact same system at 24. I've been investing automatically for 8 years. I have never once missed money I never saw. Lesson 5. Spend money on experiences, not things. My parents didn't buy stuff, but they spent freely on experiences. Every summer, we took a 2-week road trip across the country, camped in national parks, hiked, saw everything. Total cost maybe $2,000. The Johnsons spent $15,000 on a Mediterranean cruise, stayed in their cabin the whole time, came home with photos. We came home with memories. My dad said, in 20 years, you won't remember a single thing you bought, but you'll remember every experience you had with people you love. Lesson 6. Keep your wealth invisible. My parents' friends had zero idea they were millionaires. They didn't brag, didn't show off, didn't tell anyone. My dad said, the moment you tell people you have money is the moment they start asking you for money. Keep it private. Keep it quiet. Keep it growing. The Johnsons told everyone about their success, showed off constantly, and when everything fell apart, everyone knew. The embarrassment made it 10 times worse. Lesson 7. Choose freedom over status. Every dollar you spend impressing people is a dollar that can't buy you freedom. My parents retired at 58. The Johnsons can't retire until 70, maybe longer. My parents chose freedom. The Johnsons chose status. My dad told me, every dollar you spend trying to look successful is another day you have to work. Choose wisely. If these 7 lessons just change how you think about money, hit that like button one more time right now, and drop a comment telling me which lesson you're implementing first. Seriously, comment right now. I'm reading all of them and I'll reply. Here's what I finally understood as an adult. My parents weren't cheap. They were intentional. Every financial decision was a conscious choice. Now or later, status or freedom, looking rich or being rich. And they chose freedom every single time. At 58, they won the game by refusing to play the game everyone else was playing. They don't have to work, don't have to stress, don't have to impress anyone. They just live. Meanwhile, the Johnsons are still trapped. Still working, still stressed, still paying for decisions they made 20 years ago. My parents taught me that real wealth is completely invisible. It's not the car in your driveway, not the size of your house, not the clothes you wear. Real wealth is the freedom to choose, the ability to say no to work you hate, the lack of financial stress, the peace of mind when you go to sleep, the time you get to spend with people you actually love. That is real wealth. And the people who look the richest are almost always the most broke, while the people who look ordinary are often the millionaires who figured out what actually matters in life. So next time you see someone driving a beat-up car and living in a modest house, don't assume they are struggling. They might be millionaires who understand the game. And next time you see someone in a brand new luxury car living in a massive house, don't assume they are rich. They might be drowning in debt, working until they die, trying to maintain an image that's slowly destroying their entire life. My parents are 68 years old. They've been retired for 10 years, living their absolute dream. Zero regrets, zero stress. They won. And everything they taught me, I'm teaching you in these videos. If you want every strategy my millionaire parents used, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications, because I'm breaking down every single strategy, every lesson, every decision they made in future videos. Let's build real wealth together. The kind that actually sets you free. Last thing, drop a comment right now and tell me, do you know someone like my parents? Or do you know someone like the Johnsons? Share your story. I want to hear it. And if this video changed how you see wealth, hit that like button one final time and share this video with one person who needs to see it today. Let's change some lives. Starting right now.